The Vanguard World Championships just ended yesterday and we have a new world champion, Dorian, who used Shojodoji. Did not expect this pick. I wasn't able to watch the streams yesterday, so hopefully Bushiroad uploads the VOD soon. Second place we have Sora Hart, who used Lianorn. Third, Rougeman, who used Jheva. And fourth place, BZE, who used Drajeweled. He's also from the Philippines. Congrats to all the players. We'll look at all their deck lists. By the way, this table is made by Fuzzy Paradox. This is the deck Dorian used. Shojodoji, the best DE deck. Shojodoji has one of the best rushes in the format, but if you survive it, I think you have a greater chance of winning. It's grade 1 on ride, you can check top 5 and put 1 stealth card into soul and bind 1. Then his grade 2, check top 5, put 1 stealth card into soul again and you call 1. So that's where he'll get his rush. You can also call grade 3s. Then his grade 3, first skill, act once per turn. You can bind 2 cards with stealth in their card names from soul. You choose 2 of your opponent's rearguard circles and bind all of the cards in those circles. But your opponent gets them back at the end of the turn, gets them back to their hand. On attack, CB1, you can put 2 rearguards into soul, choose a card with stealth in their card name from your bind zone, and call it to rear. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, that called unit gets plus 10. So he gets an extra attack, and he also has another card who allows him to get another one. This is his main grade 3 unit on President. On place, by a card's ability, you can Soul Blast 1 to draw 1. And if 2 or more of your cards were put from rearguard circle into your soul, it gets plus 10. So a big beater, and you can draw. Then Gonjoku. On place, by a card's ability, if your opponent has 2 or less rearguards, it gets plus 10. So this is his support in set 13. And then on attack on a Vanguard, retire it and you can draw 1. Izusao. On place, you can CB1 to check top 5 and add a stealth unit from among them and add it to your hand. And when this unit is put from rearguard circle into your soul during your turn, you can choose one of your opponent's face-up cards in their bind zone and put it on the bottom of their deck, and your Vanguard gets plus 5. Shiranui actually uses this as well, since he uses the grade 2 ride line, the grade 2 Shojodoji in his ride line. You can use this to grade 2 game. Yeah, so his sole purpose is to win the grade 2 game. And you can actually also get stealth PGs. So we still don't have the Shiranui PGs, so he had to use the ones from the trial deck, since they need to have stealth in their card name. Next we have Tsukuyodachi. When this card is put into soul from deck or rearguard, you can bind it and soul charge. And in the bind zone, when 2 or more of your rearguards were put into soul at the same time during your turn, CB1 and call this to an open rear. So this enables a 5th attack for Shojodoji. Then Kagechika. On place, you can choose a card with stealth in its card name from your drop and you may put it into your soul. And when your other unit is placed on rearguard from the bind zone, you can put this into soul and draw 1. Then this is Forktail. Forktail on place, you can check top 7 and choose 1 normal unit with stealth in their card name or glitter and put it into your soul. Then you have the stealth PGs for Izusao. And this is the new PR that we just got in English. Raidon Kunai. When your rearguard is placed on rearguard from the bind zone, you can bind this and that unit gets plus 5, and if you haven't countercharged that turn, you can countercharge. From the bind zone, when your grade 3 or greater Shojodoji Vanguard is attacked, you may call this to the Guardian Circle and it gets plus 5,000 shield, so it's a 10,000 shield from the bind zone. Then Dorian is using the restanding heals with 3 effect fronts and Drajeweled. So onto the next deck. Next up, second place, we have Lianorn, who is used by Sora Heart. For the ride line, Sora Heart used Roroa for the grade 1. On place, you call a plant token to your back row center rearguard circle. Then Black Tears Husk Dragon for the second one, to add a normal order from drop to your hand. So you want to discard on your first ride a order. Then for the grade 3 Lianorn, CB1 you draw and call 1. And on attack, Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand and boost this with all of your back row units with boost. And if you boosted with 3 or more units, it gets +1 drive, and at the end of the battle, you stand 2 of your back row rear guards. So this gets really big, but this is actually the mask build. The mask variant. This is the mask variant. So if you went second, you can activate Persona right instantly, or you can just mask on your first grade 3 turn, even if you go first. So if you remove a Lianorn different card name from your hand, soul or drop, you can revive one grade 1 or less card from your drop, and you can retire one of your opponent's rearguards. And on attack, you can choose 3 of your back row units with boost this unit, and if you boosted with 3 or more units, you can CB1 to choose 2 of your rearguards and stand them. So you can have up to 5 attacks. We have Lianorn Vivace. So on place, you can draw 1, and when this unit attacks when not boosted, you can stand all of your rearguards and boost this unit with them. And if you boosted with 3 or more units, at the end of the battle, CB1 and you can stand 3 of your units, including the Vanguard. And you get +5 and -1 drive. You have Luster Impact Dragon. If your back row has 2 or more grade 1, or less rearguards, this unit gets boost and +5. And with this unit is stand by the ability of your Vanguard, and your Vanguard is 33,000 or greater, you can Soul Blast 1 to draw 1 and it gets +5. So this is your main target for Rosarian Ferry. So this is 15, and when you add a Dragon Tree marker from Drajeweled, it becomes 20. And Rosarian Fairy is your main attacker, so her skill is on place on rearguard circle, you retire another rearguard and call 2 plant tokens, and when it attacks and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater already, you can increase this unit's power by the power of one of your other units. So you're gonna get this, so that's +20. And then Drajeweled searches a Dragon Tree marker generator. You have Elentis. During your turn, it gets +2. If you're in Unison Dress state, it gets +5. And at the end of your turn, if your Vanguard was boosted a total of 3 or more times this turn, you can retire it and draw 1. And if you have no face-up cards in your damage zone, countercharge. And Sora Heart is using 2 of the cat. If you don't know, on place, put 2 cards from your ride deck from soul or drop to face up, back into your ride deck face up. And on rear guard, you can soul charge 2 and give one of your units +5. And on Guardian Circle, it's +15k shield, so 20k shield. Running 2 mask, 4 Misty Arc Habitat. This allows you to check top 7 and call 1, or get another copy of this. Running 4 draws, 4 of the effect crits. Next we have this Rougeman's Jheva, Blazing World. So this one, when you roll the pawn, you search Trickstar. This one, when roll the pawn, you can check top 7 for a prayer dragon. For Jheva, first skill, act once per turn, you can discard a card from your hand to revive 1 Trickstar and 1 prayer dragon from your drop. And on auto, on attack, CB1, you can stand one of your crossover dress units. Rougeman is running 4 of the Strawberryna. To crossover dress it, you need 1 Trickstar and 2 or more prayer dragons with different card names. It gets +10,000 when it's in crossover dress state, and all of your Vanguards with Nirvana in their card name get triple drive and +10,000 as well. When this unit is in crossover state and stood by your vanguard's ability, and your opponent's already at grade 3 or greater, CB1, stand all of your talisman or prayer dragon rear guards. If this unit has 5 or more original dress, remove all markers from your opponent's rear guards circles and retire all of your opponent's rear guards. So the last part, I don't think it comes up every game, but the triple drive is really good. And the stand and restanding your talismans and prayer dragons. So these are the prayer dragons, and overdress and cross overdress units are talismans. We're still running the Bram, 1 off, 1 Garo, 1 Vils. You can get a cross overdress card from your drop into your hand, and also has resist. This one is 2 to guard, running 4 mirrors. On place, on rear guard by crossover dress, you can choose up to 2 cards with Varina and their card names from your drop and put it as this unit's original dress. And when this unit is in crossover dress state, attacks, it gets +10, and you can put an original dress of this unit with Varina and its card name into your drop, and you can either draw 1 or counter charge. Then running 2 arcs and running 4 of this. This is when this card becomes original dress, you can draw 1 and give one of your outer dress units resist, or gives your outer dress unit resist. And on place, on rear guard other than from Drajeweled, that's 1 discard. You can search for up to 1 per dragon, call it to rear. Then Rougeman is running 1 of each of the other prayer dragons. Then of course for Trickstar, so Jheva has a lot more room now because of the 50 card main deck rule. So really nice. He has also the PR, the set order. When this is put into order zone or discarded from hand for the cost of your vanguard's ability, you can draw 1. And when it's in the order zone, if you have a vanguard with Nirvana and its card name, and your rear guard with Varina and its card name would be put into deck or bind zone by your opponent's card effect. You can put all of the Trickstar in the original dress of that unit into your hand and put that unit and the rest of the original dress into your drop. So instead of getting binded or bot deck, you can save it. That's Jheva. And for the last list, we have BZE's Drajeweled, World Jewel of Ruin. So you just run 1 of the grade 3 Drajeweled for your ride deck, since you want to ride the grade 4. CB1 soul charge 2, and if the cards you soul charge have different grades, you draw 1. And on attack, soul blast 4 cards with different grades. You decrease your opponent's vanguard to 1, and if your opponent's vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this gets crit, extra crit. Then for the grade 4, the Drajeweled got in set 13. At the beginning of your battle phase, you can choose 2 cards from your drop and put them to soul, and if your soul has 4 or more cards with different grades, your front row gets +15. And for his third ability, you can pay the Drajeweled cards as any grade. On attack, soul blast 5 cards with different grades. You retire your opponent's back row, and this gets an extra crit and decrease your opponent's front row to 0. So really strong. And the important grade 3 Nocturcio, on place or on rear guard or guardian circle, you can reveal a grade 4 card from your hand, or if you have a grade 4 vanguard, you can CB1 to draw card and put 2 cards from your drop to soul, and in guardian circle it gets 15,000 shield. And if you discard it while riding a grade 3 from ride deck, you can draw 1. And he's running Crucial Dragon. If you don't know, this is the grade 3s that if your opponent's drive check or damage check reveal a trigger unit, it gets +10,000 power and shield. And when it attacks a vanguard while not boosted, you can put another rear guard in the same column as this unit into soul and perform all of the following. You can retire 1 of your opponent's rear guards and it gets +5, and if you remove a over trigger from your drop, your opponent cannot call a grade 1 or greater cards from hand to guardian circle. So it's a guard restrict if you have OT, but you can also retire with this. Then we have Zagan. On place, during your main phase, you may soul charge 1, and you can reveal a grade 4 card from your hand, or if you have a grade 4 Drajeweled Vanguard, you can choose up to 1 card from your soul with a different card name from this unit and call it the rear. At the end of that turn, you put that card into soul, back into soul. If you have a Vanguard with Drajeweled in its card name, it gets boost. So it's a 10k boost. And you're still using Rakagor, you restand it for a CB and gets plus 10 if you have 4 or more different grades in your soul. This is the PR, Servant Falcracia. When this attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, you can choose a card from your drop, and this gets plus 5 for each grade of that unit, and you can put the card into soul. And you put that card into soul. And at the end of your turn, if you have a grade 4 or greater Vanguard, you can put this into soul and draw 1. So this is your restand target for this mostly, or where I just observed Varpula. When you soul blast 4 or more cards at the same time, put this into soul, draw 1, then choose up to 1 grade 4 card from your hand, reveal it, or if you have a grade 4 Drajeweled Vanguard, you can stand one of your rear guards if you haven't stand by a card's ability that turn. So you have to use this first before restanding the others. And Gangram. I didn't see this before. On play soul charge and soul blast 3 to draw 1. And blue OT running the restand heals. Avatar using the restand heals. And Forbidal. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.